Before getting into any game, fresh players must know the rules of the game, and this implies in programming and coding also. Because for someone, programming might be a game of fun, but for others, it can be a game of thrones. Not one from Netflix, but really puzzling. So keeping this in mind, let's start today's video. I'm your host Sarvasnik and I'm welcome you to our channel. In this video, I brought you 5 things which are must to know before you start coding as a beginner. So with this intro, let's get started. Learning to code is not easy at all. You may find many websites that try to push people into coding by citing it an easy trait to master. However, it is one of the hardest skills to gather and excel at. It is more of experimentation than a guide that needs to follow. So as a beginner, you may want to know what the journey holds or what like it to progress from beginner to intermediate level as a programmer. Before getting straight into something important, let's see 5 most common myths about programming in students, which should be busted immediately. So the first myth we need to bust is programming is something only topper can do it. Some students think that coding is just for toppers, but I would say coding is for problem solvers, and anyone can be a problem solver if you love to solve queries by using logical thinking. You don't need an engineering or any other higher degree to be a good programmer or to be a good problem solver. And also, you don't need to be a topper in a class or any category. The second myth we need to bust is it's only take weeks to learn a programming language. It's completely wrong. You can't learn a complete language or master it in a few weeks. The process of learning is quite long as per your expectation. It needs patience, consistency, and a lot of practice to be a good programmer. Even though if you have completed the curriculum of any programming language and you haven't yet learned to code in it, then you're still in the learning process. And to become a good programmer, you should feel very good every time you fail because that's the only way you can progress. The third myth we need to bust is I should memorize all syntaxes. The psychology is that if you program without external guidance, you will memorize everything and become a true pro that can build anything from scratch. But the truth is, you don't have to worry about memorizing syntax. All you will be writing the same code for thousands of times before you can flip the table and create the framework yourself. Google, IDE, and frameworks are not created out of boredom. They are especially designed to help you pick up programming faster. The best practice is to use IDE with syntax recommendation and consult the Google Baba whenever you run into the trouble. The fourth myth we need to burst is I just can't write that much code. I am one of those people who were scared when I first viewed the source of web page because you can bet that 4000 lines of code can be overwhelming. However, while HTML is not a programming language, its content pretty much reflects what every code file contains in general. If you pay attention, you will find that they are just piles of code consisting of repetitive statements, methods, and loops. And that's it, programmers mostly use the same stuff you learn in beginner and intermediate course to do both simple and complicated solutions. And once you get used to it, you will feel that 10,000 lines of code are child play. It can get addictive very quickly. The fifth and the final myth we need to bust is only best colleges can produce the best programmers. To max up your coding kung fu, you need a true master to guide your path. And that master's name is a teacher. Many of you think that only the best colleges have the best teachers, and it's obvious also. But there are some exceptions to this. You can find the best teachers around you because, after all, colleges are the best just because they have the best faculty. So you don't need the best colleges, you need the best teachers. But these days, and thanks to internet and Google Baba, you can learn how to program from kind and enthusiastic programmers with zero involvement from university's lecturers. Regardless of path you choose, it's best for you to master your self-learning ability because unlike most industries, programming is always evolving at a very fast pace and only you can determine whether you can keep up. Now the most important part, time to know 5 things before you start programming as a beginner. So let's get started. The first one is start from zero. When you start learning, the first thing you need to be sure is of the basics. It is the first step of becoming a code ninja. To get the basics right, you need to learn the core of computer science starting from very basic level in a subject, then slowly moving towards intermediate level with concepts like control structure and basic input-output operations, and finally exploring the most important and advanced topics for a beginner, that is data structure and algorithms. And here you finished your complete basics of core computing science and programming. The second one is to build patience and consistency. To reach the goal, if you want to become a good programmer, then you must have a patience because programming is the world of error and debugging, and only the person having patience can handle such repetitive and frustrating tasks. Computer concepts are complex and require resilience, patience, and hard work to understand. Not to mention, patience can also help you to become a better problem solver and improve your understanding of computer science concepts. Most of the time, beginners didn't have the right expectations when starting their programming journey. Yes, you don't come with all the power at the beginning. Too much optimism is dangerous anyway. Due to faulty expectations, too many beginners just give up and move towards another trade. To counter this, you should build patience, consistency, and always think of the end goal. The third one is set milestones for final goal and move towards it. Look, a good programmer or we can say a good learner is one who builds his expertise in anything step by step. And that's the perfect way to learn anything or to master anything you want to. Setting a milestone for a final goal can be a powerful motivational booster on your path to learning to code. If you are planning for example to learn a Python programming language, then set a milestone to add a simple project by the end of week. Once the milestone is achieved, set another milestone and repeat the cycle until you reach your final goal. Yes, it's that easy. There is no end of learning and improvement in programming, and that's why it is good idea to keep setting milestone and not to lose track of your final goal. The fourth one is tracking and tuning your learning process. As a developer, there is no end of improvement and the continued state of helplessness is just a part of being a developer. New technology releases also didn't let developers relax, as they had to constantly upgrade their skills to meet the latest market requirement. As a beginner, you need always to be ready to learn new things. The number of possibilities doesn't help the cause either, as you can always find an experienced developer who is unsure of his or her skills because of the constant influx of new tools, technologies, and standards to follow. So, what you can take away from this? It is okay to not know everything that is out there. Whatever it is that you know, that's okay. As long you never stop learning new things, you will never go wrong. The fifth and the final one is creating your own circle for learning and support. Learn to code is never a solo quest. If you are thinking of building a next big app without any help, then you are in the wrong trade. Programming is a group activity, and if you want to survive, you need to get help from different social platforms catering to programmers just like you. Check out GitHub, Stack Overflow's, Live Coding, or any other social media coding site to find a suitable community for yourself. Each of the communities I mentioned just now has its own perks and will help you to improve your coding skills. For example, you can explore public projects repositories on GitHub. Another good example is live coding, where you can see other people code their projects live, giving you an idea of the challenges as a programmer faces while working on the projects, and many of other options to create your own community, even with your friends also. So yes, congratulations, you have come up to the end and now you know how to become a good programmer when you are starting to code as a beginner. So keep in mind all those things that I have told you and work on them. And it would definitely help you to become a good programmer. So best of luck for those who want to become a programmer and also for those who want to become something apart from a good programmer. So that's it for now. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss the updates. So let's meet in another video. Till then, happy learning. And remember, stay home, stay safe.